What is Mythos?
So everyone who has used an AI...
Let's start with what this is. Can you briefly describe what is Mythos?
So everyone who has used an AI chatbot, such as ChatGPT or Claude, is familiar with that kind of interface. And over the past year, we've seen dramatic progress in these capabilities, not just in chatting with users, but actually writing software programs, and as they get more agentic, building fully fleshed out systems. So if you're really, really good at writing computer code, it's not that far away to be really, really good at hacking computer code. And what we've seen is an explosion, a qualitative shift in just how much these models can achieve. This is the latest and greatest Anthropic model, and it is capable of executing, not just finding a bug, but exploiting that bug, going through all the links of the cyber kill chain to successfully execute attack, and doing so autonomously. Now, why does that matter? Because even though we're talking about computers, cybersecurity has actually been under a massive labor shortage for the past 20 years. If you think about, why aren't we able to patch all of these bugs? It's because hackers are really expensive. These are talented folks who are difficult to train. But now, if AI can do so much of that job by itself, you start thinking about Anthropic as a company having capabilities comparable to that of the National Security Agency in the United States government. And fortunately, Anthropic was the one to get to this future first. They're approaching the United States government, they're approaching critical infrastructure companies, they're approaching the key cloud providers and banks and saying, this is what we've discovered, you live in a different world now, let's figure out how to secure it.
From your standpoint, are you fearful that this could expose vulnerabilities or hopeful it will improve resilience?
So I think there's a sequencing part of all of this story. This is a capability that is useful for cyber offense, and that means doing bad things, but also doing things that are critical to U.S. national security. But it's also a boon for cyber defense, because you can imagine every new piece of software, before it enters the world, is going to have to go through the Mythos test, which is to say, can you survive this gauntlet? And the reality is, going through that gauntlet before was, number one, pretty expensive and time-consuming, and number two, not perfect. There was a lot of bugs that weren't discovered, and we know that because Mythos just discovered a giant pile of new bugs and all this stuff. So this does offer a world in which we can secure our software more in a bigger way. The problem is that transition point. There is a massive amount of code, whether that's open source code, and it turns out that much of the infrastructure of the internet relies on stuff that is maintained by volunteers, and also big critical infrastructure providers. We're talking banks, energy companies.